2 years ago, when I was in college, I made my first 1 crore rupees. And that's a huge amount for any Indian or any 21-year-old out there. And it has helped me fulfill a lot of my childhood dreams, like buying my dad a car, flying business class, going to watch a WrestleMania match, walking in New York, and so many exciting things. So through this video, I just want to share my story on how I achieved this. And I didn't even go to any fancy college like IITs or NITs or anything like that. It was just BIT Mesra and off campus in Devghar, Jharkhand, which is a very small city, and that's also where I am from. I was always ever since I was young, I was exposed to the internet, and I always knew that I always wanted to do something online because the idea was super appealing. Like, imagine being able to take your laptop anywhere and you would be making money. And as an Indian, it sounded even more appealing because you have a lot less expenses to do and all that. So I always wanted to make money through the internet, and that's how it all began. So let's start with the college. I won't waste much of your time, but basically I gave JEE and I got into this college which was super close to my house. So it felt like a cheat code because I can just go from my house to the college, don't even have to stay in the dorm, so that I can still utilize my PC setup, and I just personally like to be alone in my room. And yes, I took it. I was also in my branch computer science. So it all began in the second year of my college when everyone was trying to chase for internships, including me. And I knew that this is not something I would want to do 5 years down the line or something. And I was always using Twitter and seeing all these indie hackers and people just building these passion projects and making $5,000, $10,000 just felt like a dream to me, and I really wanted to do that on my own. And so I got started. AI hype was just beginning at the right time, and so I wanted to build something unique and something that solved my issue, my personal issues, something like that. So I was doing YouTube around that time as well, just super casually, and then it just occurred to me that why is there no, I mean, if you have done YouTube, you might have seen these two tools called vidIQ or TubeBuddy. These are the two most popular tools out there helping YouTubers at that time. So I wanted to build something unique because everyone was building a to-do list. Everyone was building a mobile app. I wanted to create a web app here, just like vidIQ or TubeBuddy, that did something unique. And because AI hype was out there already, I combined that and came up with the idea of morise.ai. Honestly, the domain morise.ai, I was trying to build this other thing called a memorization tool. We'll get into that some other day. But because that domain was super expensive and I didn't want to stay in that idea, I used this domain to build what Morise became further on. And this is also a plus point for you if you think names matter in businesses, because I don't think it does so much if you're just starting out. So I took that domain morise.ai, and I wanted to build a idea generator for a YouTube channel. I'm not going to get into specific details of how it worked, but basically the idea was I would create a prediction system which would just, upon entering any YouTube channel, it would just fetch out all the titles, like let's say 10 titles of last videos, and come up with an 11th title. So that was the whole deal, and I built it. Even in the computer science, I remember computer science labs, I used to be coding this, my friends would be watching, and it used to be a lot of fun. And so yeah, I finally built that, and I started tweeting about it. So you could just enter a YouTube channel link now, and it would just show you it would just predict a new video idea for the channel, which felt like magic at that time. So this is what I built, and I started mentioning a lot of YouTubers on Instagram and Twitter both by tagging the usage of the tool. And just one day, this Randolph guy, if you have seen Sidemen, you might know him, just picked up my tweet and actually commented on it. And that's when it all started. Morise took off and it started to make money. And I remember morise.ai originally had two plans, $29 per month, and there was an yearly plan which I think was up to $261 per year. And yes, so I remember I was attending this wedding, and then one day I just look at my phone and there's a notification of getting paid $261, and it was a huge shocker to me because that was the first time somebody had bought an annual plan of my product. And that's when I truly believed that this would take off, because I had done zero marketing other than all the tweets, and $261 is a lot of money for any Indian person to be made in just one day. And it felt completely passive because unlike doing service businesses and stuff, this is an art you made and now the art is being bought by people. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but yeah, it just felt really fulfilling to see that notification. I came home immediately, I remember, and I started to add more features like a title generator, description generator, and all that stuff. And that's when Futurepedia also featured Morise.ai. So Futurepedia at that time was the most popular directory website to show all these AI tools along with future tools and other products. It was by a guy named Vivek Verma. We became really good friends after I came to Bangalore at that time. And I remember, speaking of Bangalore, I'm also recording this video in my Bangalore house right now. But 2 years ago, I really wanted an excuse to come here because it was hard to convince my parents, even though I was making some money at that point, to come to Bangalore because it didn't make sense. Like, why would you want to go there? And I wanted to come here for networking and just meeting people because it felt like this is the closest where I would find my peer group, if you know what I mean. So I took an internship at a company, whatever I could get, and I just came here. I immediately came here. And within just like 2 weeks of working there, I quit. And at that time, Morise.ai was already making around 2 lakhs a month. And so I fully believed that I can scale this. And so I kept doing that. And by the end of the year, I was making around 4 lakhs per month. And this is where a popular YouTuber named Ishan Sharma, who's also my friend now, picked up Morise.ai and texted me on Twitter, and we did a podcast together, after which more people found out about this product and stuff. So around that time, I also started to get this fear of a platform risk. Basically, this is something that YouTube could have just released in like one day inside the creator dashboard. Like, if they did something like that, I would immediately lose all my revenue, right? So this is when I thought, okay, let's take an exit and sell this whole thing, because there was a new startup selling company called acquire.com out there, and a lot of people just kept on tweeting about selling their startups and stuff. So I thought, okay, this is not something I see myself doing like 10 years down the line, just being called the founder of Morise.ai. I always thought this is just a step to my next venture. So I thought, why not sell it and take a big capital? And this is when I listed Morise.ai to acquire.com. And in just a couple of weeks, I got reached out by Matt Parr, who's a really good friend of mine. We have also built a new company called vid.ai recently. It's currently at $6 million evaluation. We'll talk about that some other day for sure. I tweet about this stuff all the time. So make sure to follow me on Twitter. But yes, Matt texted me, we did talk about it, and then I ended up selling Morise.ai for an undisclosed amount, which was somewhere in 6 figures. I know that's a very general number, but it was more than 1 crore. That should be enough for you to guess. And that's how I made my first 1 crore rupees online. Again, it was a big number for any Indian household. And I remember my dad just buying sweets for me that day because my bank was gonna get that much money in that single day. So yes, I had calls from the bank. What is this transaction for? Because it came from the USA. It's a huge remittance. I had to put in purpose codes, figure all that stuff out, call CAs. So I remember it was overwhelming, but absolutely worth it. So one lesson with all of this I want to share with you is it does not matter where you're studying, where you're from, if you are the best. I didn't think I was the best coder in my college at all. It just matters if you do execute your ideas. Absolutely, because everyone in the entrepreneurship community, even in my college or other places I know, everyone just talked about all these ideas. And I feel like ideas are not that valued unless you execute them. So that's what I did, and I did it on the right time. I think I took the exit on the right time as well. And that is one thing you can take from this video. So right after selling this, I partnered up with Matt, who bought the startup, and we built a brand new company called vid.ai. We put in our own $47,000 in just buying the domain. And as of today, the startup is now worth $6 million. And we'll talk about 2 someday, but that will be it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.